Exodus chapter 12. The Passover ritual prescribed. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, "This month will stand at the head of your calendar. You will reckon it the first month of the year. Tell the whole community of Israel. On the 10th of this month, every family must procure for itself a lamb, one apiece for each household. If a household is too small for a lamb, it along with its nearest neighbor will procure one, and apportion the lamb's cost in proportion to the number of persons, according to what each household consumes. Your lamb must be a year-old male and without blemish. You may take it from either the sheep or the goats. You will keep it until the 14th day of this month. And then, with the whole community of Israel assembled, it will be slaughtered during the evening twilight. They will take some of its blood, and apply it to the 2 doorposts, and the lintel of the houses in which they eat it. They will consume its meat that same night, eating it roasted with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Do not eat any of it raw or even boiled in water, but roasted, with its head and shanks and inner organs. You must not keep any of it beyond the morning. Whatever is left over in the morning must be burned up. This is how you are to eat it: with your loins girt, sandals on your feet, and your staff in hand. You will eat it in a hurry. It is the Lord's Passover. For on this same night I will go through Egypt, striking down every firstborn in the land, human being and beast alike, and executing judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I, the Lord. But for you the blood will mark the houses where you are. Seeing the blood, I will pass over you. Thereby, when I strike the land of Egypt, no destructive blow will come upon you. This day will be a day of remembrance for you, which your future generations will celebrate with pilgrimage to the Lord. You will celebrate it as a statute forever. For 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. From the very first day, you will have your houses clear of all leaven. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day to the 7th will be cut off from Israel. On the first day you will hold a sacred assembly, and likewise on the 7th. On these days no sort of work shall be done, except to prepare the food that everyone needs. Keep, then, the custom of the unleavened bread, since it was on this very day that I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. You must observe this day throughout your generations as a statute forever. From the evening of the 14th day of the first month, until the evening of the 21st day of this month, you will eat unleavened bread. For 7 days no leaven may be found in your houses. For anyone, a resident alien or a native, who eats leavened food will be cut off from the community of Israel. You shall eat nothing leavened. Wherever you dwell you may eat only unleavened bread. Promulgation of the Passover. Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go and procure lambs for your families, and slaughter the Passover victims. Then take a bunch of hyssop, and dipping it in the blood that is in the basin, apply some of this blood to the lintel and the 2 doorposts. And none of you shall go outdoors until morning. For when the Lord goes by to strike down the Egyptians, seeing the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorposts, the Lord will pass over that door, and not let the destroyer come into your houses to strike you down. You will keep this practice forever, as a statute for yourselves and your descendants. Thus, when you have entered the land, which the Lord will give you as he promised, you must observe this rite. When your children ask you, "What does this rite of yours mean?" you will reply, "It is the Passover sacrifice for the Lord, who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt. When he struck down the Egyptians, he delivered our houses." Then the people knelt and bowed down, and the Israelites went and did exactly as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. Death of the firstborn. And so at midnight the Lord struck down every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh sitting on his throne, to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon, as well as all the firstborn of the animals. Pharaoh arose in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. And there was loud wailing throughout Egypt, for there was not a house without its dead. Permission to depart. During the night Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Leave my people at once, you and the Israelites. Go and serve the Lord as you said. Take your flocks, too, and your herds, as you said, and go and bless me, too." The Egyptians, in a hurry to send them away from the land, urged the people on, for they said, "All of us will die." The people, therefore, took their dough before it was leavened, in their kneading bowls, wrapped in their cloaks on their shoulders. And the Israelites did as Moses had commanded. They asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold and for clothing. Indeed, the Lord had made the Egyptians so well disposed toward the people that they let them have whatever they asked for. And so they despoiled the Egyptians. Departure from Egypt. The Israelites set out from Ramesses for Sukkah, about 600,000 men on foot, not counting the children. A crowd of mixed ancestry also went up with them, with livestock in great abundance, both flocks and herds. The dough they had brought out of Egypt, they baked into unleavened loaves. It was not leavened, because they had been driven out of Egypt, and could not wait. They did not even prepare food for the journey. The time the Israelites had stayed in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, on this very date, all the armies of the Lord left the land of Egypt. This was a night of vigil for the Lord, when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. So on this night all Israelites must keep a vigil for the Lord throughout their generations. Law of the Passover. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the Passover statute. No foreigner may eat of it. However, every slave bought for money, you will circumcise, then he may eat of it. But no tenant or hired worker may eat of it. It must be eaten in one house. You may not take any of its meat outside the house. You shall not break any of its bones." The whole community of Israel must celebrate this feast. If any alien residing among you would celebrate the Passover for the Lord, all his males must be circumcised, and then he may join in its celebration just like the natives. But no one who is uncircumcised may eat of it. There will be one law for the native, and for the alien residing among you. All the Israelites did exactly as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. On that same day the Lord brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt company by company.